Boom.
I don't see anything on my screen quite yet, but let's see. Well, regardless, we're recording, and this thing's going to catch up. So I think it's moving along. Oh, there it comes along. All right. Welcome to another Monster Monday. Nobody can see that yet. See anything on my screen quite yet, but that's if this is your first time to the show. Let's see. Monstieur is a show where we discuss and redesign some of the most iconic, horrific characters and creatures in the entertainment industry from both the past and the present. And today, joining me are Dopepope, sculptor and concept artist, Luke Schroder. He is a tattoo artist, concept artist, illustrator, and pumpkin carver, master pumpkin carver.
Nice.
DC Morrow is a traditional painter and artist. Randy Toroni, I'm sorry.
Toroni.
Toroni, I was just kidding. Randy Toroni, he is a concept artist, illustrator, and I think that's it, right? And me,
yeah.
J.R. Coffron, I am also a concept artist and illustrator. Today's subject matter, we are discussing the Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth. So, that being said, let's go with a simple question first. What did you guys think? Overall, did you like the movie?
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
The Toro's visuals are incredible. I thought it was awesome. Could have watched it on mute and loved it.
Yeah. The cinematography and the tone for all the scenes, the colors that he tends to kind of lean towards these certain this bluish type color with a lot of his scenes. It lends well to the overall aesthetic and of the whole thing, I think. Was there anything that you would say that wasn't quite working for you? How about you, Dopepope?
I think the only thing I think I've seen this movie twice. When it first came out, I watched it and I liked it. I liked it a lot. And then I hadn't seen it in so long that when this came up, I had to watch it again. I was looking forward to it, and I loved it. I loved it again. But I forgot that there was actually a lot of use of CG in it, and I don't remember that much CG being used. Either I didn't notice it the first time, or I didn't think anything of it, or it didn't hold up. Either that. I mean, it's been a while. But other than that, and I'm not saying it was either bad or anything that it looked that bad, but it's just definitely noticed it stood out more than it did in the past. Because I think the Pale Man guy, he was not CG.
His legs,
as far as I can tell.
His legs were.
Well, they were way too thin to be. But I imagine they do a lot of that stuff with a green screen where you wear green pants and then the prosthetics like wrap around your leg. That's how they did the goat guy in the beginning. I forget what his name
is.
I was curious.
The legs.
That Pan himself.
Yeah, I thought
they
that
just
was
green screened his legs.
I thought that was actually a prosthetic.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought that was a.
It was prosthetic. It was half. Part of it was his actual. You ever see those T-Rex, those things where they black out an area, make it black, and then they put the Tyrannosaurus Rex legs going back like this. That's the kind of way they did it, but instead of it being black, it was green screen, so that they could just edit it out in post production.
Okay.
So they said it saved them a lot of money doing that way.
Okay.
Yeah, and it looks pretty good. They don't have to animate the leg itself because it's already being animated by the actor's leg, and they just have to get rid of the actual leg, which is way easier than animating the full character. So it's a weird blend of prosthetic and CG that really works well. And they did that for the Pale Man, I guess, and they did that for that goat guy in the beginning. And it's throughout, I'm sure. And I'm not saying it looked bad at all. I'm just saying it was something I noticed, and
of course,
because I haven't seen it as many times.
It was in 2006, I believe. That's when it was in theaters, and of course, it's going to be pretty dated now. What about aside from aesthetics? What about the story and whatnot? Did you guys all like the story itself too?
Yeah, I did. I definitely liked it.
Is there anything that you disliked? Because there's something that didn't quite sit well with me in the beginning. Uh, but when I first saw the movie about years ago, I actually did not like the movie. I thought it was overrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Wow.
just because for me, they weren't creating like what audience are they trying to cater to? It's definitely not kids because that's some scary shit that happens. There's people getting their heads
Right.
blown off and whatnot, and then you have this fairy tale type aesthetic that they're doing with like kind of whimsical shapes and whatnot. Like the faun, he's kind of scary, but he looked kind of whimsical at the same time, right?
It really cult
Yeah.
feels like a cult film. You
So,
know,
but that being said, like her reactions, like when she meets these characters, these very scary looking characters, it didn't seem that believable to me. And especially when she met the pill man and ate the grape, I was like, what? Like, why? What are you doing? Like, this is like you're a little tiny kid. You'd be. I mean, I'm a grown ass man. I'd be crying like seeing this thing in this in this scary room. Like it had a very fairy tale quality to it, but at the same time, they didn't like. I needed a little bit more real to ground it. I suppose for me, or maybe I'm just a
I
cynical asshole. I don't know. Could
can
be
I say
that.
one thing?
Sure.
I could see
I think the thing that really deterred the thing for me was when I first saw it was what you were saying, how gruesome it was. Uh, I didn't expect that when I picked up the movie to watch it, especially when I did see it. I was actually really not into like stuff that was really. I'm not a horror movie fan. I don't really like. Sorry, I don't really like to watch things that scare me that much. And so when I saw it the first time, it scared me, and it was kind of a drawback for me.
Okay.
But the visuals countered that, and over time, the movie has really grown on me and become such a, I've seen more of the director's other films. I'm a big fan of things like Pacific Rim and all the prosthetic type work he does, and so seeing it as the big picture, I've really become a big fan of Pan's Labyrinth visually and artistically, and I can also respect the story and what they were trying to do with it. But in 2006, when you see it the first time, you're going into it thinking it's a fairy tale, kind of, you
Well,
know.
I think what would have helped it, some of the elements be more believable. For instance, the girl just like being like, "I want to eat one of these grapes. Why not? There's a demon over there 5 feet away from me. Like this looks delicious." I think some of the
and another demon told her not to eat them.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's, and,
There's a demon
yeah,
telling me
twice.
directions, and there's this other demon in front of me that looks like it wants to eat me. Why not have a grape? This is a good time. Uh,
Well,
but
the
but
whole
but
thing
that
kind of runs on
wait,
fairy
wait, wait.
tale logic, though.
I know, but the story was a very character driven, gruesome story overall. So they need to lean one way or the other.
Well,
Anyway, wait, I have more to say on that.
all
Since
right.
I know you really want to get it out, but you can't because I'm stopping you. But
Is everyone just
what
gonna
they
let
could
that
have
go?
Words of
th- th-
fascism.
there's little things that they could have done for the like for instance, I read somewhere that like back then in Spain, like the rations like during that time, like everybody was kind of hungry. Like they were like food wasn't just a plentiful thing that everybody was having. So if they kind of pushed that a little bit, like saying, like, hey, we're short on, just a little nod towards everybody being hungry in the movie, obviously that would have been a nice, push towards the girl like wanting to eat the food, like even in that kind of dire circumstance. Okay, sorry, DC, go ahead.
I don't even remember anymore. I'm still photoshopping.
Okay,
Lost
damn
my
you.
train of thought. Well, wait. So yeah, it runs on fairy tale logic. I feel like they must have really loved fairy tales because we say it's gruesome. I'm like, man, really old fairy tales that have not been sanitized are basically horror. They're supernatural horror. You got to do all the imagining yourself. They're awful. Um, and I really thought they did push the everyone starving thing just enough that I don't know, that part made sense to me.
Th-
So
There's food all over the fucking movie.
I heard that it was the director's firsthand experience. A lot of the stuff that happened.
Oh, okay.
Like it was written from his own experience. Like that part where the guy hits the guy with the bottle.
I love that part.
He said he saw that in real life.
Oh my god.
He saw like a friend of his had that happen to him.
Wow.
And he said he remembers the bottle not breaking. And it's really gruesome. Like
that part was brutal.
Yeah,
that was brutal. But can you believe he saw that
in real life?
What's that?
What did you say?
All the brutal and gruesome things that happen in the film are in the real life part of the film. It's like when the guy gets his cheek slashed and when he beats that guy with a bottle. That's happening in reality. It's not happening in her nightmares. The nightmares are twisted and crazy, but that's violent and brutal. It was a weird dichotomy going on. It was extremely more graphically violent than I was expecting it the first time. That's for sure.
Yeah, it doesn't fall in a slot of. I don't remember it being that violent either. It doesn't fall in a slot. Hey, bring your 10-year-old to this, and it doesn't fall in a slot to where like you're a 30 and above year old man. Like you want something a little bit intellectual, like and grounding. It doesn't. It kind of goes back and forth, which it might be kind of the allure to the movie too. So maybe because they throw that stuff away, but for me, those little stuff would have been just to make it perfect. I enjoyed the movie the second time I saw it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
So.
I did too.
Anyone in the chat have anything to add to that? We got some people saying hello. Inner City Pigeon, good evening, guys. I don't know where he is. Adrian, Blom, hello. No Backstreet Boys, I agree. Hello, that was his name. But yeah. You guys think you guys have anything else to add to the what you little tidbits of what you liked, disliked, or any other kind of information like that? Guillermo del Toro basing it on his own life. That was I didn't know that. I didn't know he had some brain smashing bottle experience.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. I didn't do enough homework.
He had a really, he didn't have enough support in Hollywood to get this film made for a long time, but he wanted to get it. It was like his passion project. He gave up on that wardrobe, or what's that movie? The other Narnia. He gave up doing Narnia to do this movie, and it cost him a lot actually to make this movie. He had to put up $100,000 of his own money to get this thing produced.
Oh, that's nothing.
And
I think it was a good call. It was way better than Narnia.
I know.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
He said that when he watched the premiere, he had what's that really great Stephen King. He had Stephen King there watching it with him on the opening premiere, and Stephen King was watching it and loved it.
Oh, that's a nice little nod from someone very famous. That's cool.
Yeah,
coming in.
He didn't get an Oscar or anything for it, but he said that having Stephen King sit next to him and just loving it, he said that was worth like 10 Oscars.
That's awesome. That's way cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. Yeah, that's a cool story. Luke, do you wanna expose yourself? You wanna show us your pale man?
All right, let's do this. Okay.
Sounds so dirty.
I'm gonna make you big. Yeah, show us
I'm
your
gonna
show us your
pale
little
man.
pale man.
All right. So I think I got a video to play here, and DC's sharing.
DC, you're not Luke.
What?
Okay, I guess. Okay, I guess. DC, are you
What
going?
happened?
We're gonna show Luke. Did you want to go first?
Oh, I was trying to. No, you got to select him. I was just putting on my avatar.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's an avatar. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Could have been construed as the accidental spoiler. That's all right.
No,
Alrighty.
that's unrelated.
Adrian Blom,
Cool.
in what language was Pan's Labyrinth? That was Spanish, like Spain
Yeah.
Spanish.
Spanish.
Spanish. Well, I mean, they're all different, kind of
Spanish.
got a little different twang to them, different words. But anyway, Liv,
100%.
ready to rock. Expose yourself. Expose your
Alrighty.
man.
All right, so like I said, I didn't do a whole lot of homework for this. I saw the movie a couple times back when it came out, and I, loved it. Visually stunning, and what a profound and moving story. Yeah. Anyway, so I figured out like what what that pale man means to the movie and the story, and he is a symbolization of fascist oppressiveness. And gluttony, eating and devouring, like, I guess, the oppressed and helpless. So that's what I'm taking for it, because I don't want to make him again. So I got busy. Let's see if this video plays fast enough. Yabba dabba do. It's a bunch of mess, okay? That's how I kind of wanted to approach this one. Get a figure down. I didn't want to do the thing that would have been easy and just kind of just make him, but I don't know what, gorier like I'd like to go or whatever. I really wanted to stay away from his gimmick, which was the eyes and the hands and his, I don't know. I think that didn't really do anything for it. It was just a cool, stunning visual. There, I just made a custom brush and blah, blah, blah. I like it dirty. And we're getting the forms built up. It's pretty amazing. I know somebody wrote that in the chat while I was painting, and don't put eyes in the hands. That's important for me to stay away from. So this, because it's a gluttonous character, he's mouthy. He's still pale and baggy skin, but I wanted to go with a more hungry and devouring asshole. But decided to kind of imply that there's a half of a face on top of his head, with his nose up in the air.
Oh, I like that idea.
Super symbolic, bro. And basically, I'm gonna speed this up a little bit more. We'll get there. You can see I'm making teeth now. Those are indicative of a mouth area. If you don't follow it.
Oh, I see it. I see the mouse.
Love it.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I like
We're gonna have this too.
I like the part of the partial head on the top of the head. That's a cool idea.
I kind of imagined that
I love it.
because of what he symbolizes, maybe he does embody some kind of old war criminal who's trapped in this kind of state, and that's his, penance or whatever. A lot of these horror characters are like that, so he's what remains of. Oh, see, I almost put an eye in that hand.
You almost did it. You almost.
I'm glad I got out of that. That's an easy trap to fall into. I hope none of you guys did. And all right, so here I am. Basically, got my concept rolling. Oh, he's so pale. He's such a man. He's got the baggy skin, and such a new revolution. Thank you very much for watching my video.
All right.
Pretty good, man.
I put him in.
That was great.
There's the final drawing in Photoshop there.
Yeah, I like the.
So,
I really like the head on the top of the
Yeah.
the head. That's my favorite part. The mouse too.
thanks.
Of course.
That was a cool little thing. Del Toro is a real visionary, and he draws a lot from one of my favorite wells to go to, and that's like H.P. Lovecraft and stuff like that, because it can be taken anywhere. Even if you read one of those stories 6 months apart, you'll think of different things. I do anyway. I can't put that on you. And then I put him in a scene like this.
Nice.
Okay. Right on.
He's in the basement.
Yeah, like a bunker or a basement. Yeah, that's creepy, right?
Yeah, basements
Yeah.
tend to be creepy.
What's going on with the hands? The fingers look like they can bend in both directions.
Yeah, that's I was imagining it, kind of like posing my own, like to think about it, and I sort of liked exactly what you were thinking of. Like maybe they're, no palm, no back of the knuckles, but they can wriggle around. I figured he's got creepy hands in that movie. It was really hard for me to represent that in this picture, but I thought that
it's very cool because it's very unsettling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought the eyes. I love
the hair.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, coming off looks like it's coming off the neck a little bit too. Like it's part like a head wants to grow from those other mouths, but it can't.
Yeah.
Nice neck beard.
That's gorgeous. I love it.
Yeah, that is really got the disgusting feature going on really well.
Thank you. I just figured why think about this too hard. They pulled that the hands and the eyes was such a cool, visually disturbing and compelling look, and it made him one of the standout stars of the movie, and in our hearts and minds as a cool character.
Yeah.
But they're not they're really not serviceable. That creature could have got away with totally not having eyes, and stuff like that. I thought it was a kind of a little bit of, man, it was pulled off so nice. I don't want to call it low-hanging fruit, but it was, shit. Put it in any heavy metal video, and it doesn't need a story. It's cool. So I just wanted to avoid it. I thought it would be cool to try to challenge and get away from it. So he got extra mouths.
Yeah.
It's still not like a revolutionary redesign, but I wanted to take it another way. And you can imagine it moving in a, I don't know, similar or different way, but he's tortured and desperate, and he's got only one thing driving his body, I guess. So that's where I got him.
Is the torturing and hunger for tiny morsels of human flesh.
Yeah. Anything that is weaker.
I dig it, man. Good job, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think.
Speaking of the hand thing, I seen something on the internet. Some chick picking up a soda with the back of her hand, like bending it.
Oh yeah, gross, man.
Yeah, that's kind of reminded me of that.
Chicks are gross.
Yeah, gross, right? Stick to dudes. Loving the dudes. Who'd like to go next?
Doesn't matter. I can go.
Not me.
I can go if you want.
Not you? All right, Randy, go.
I don't. All right, I'm fine. I can go. All right. So let's see. I'll just use the screen share option here. Let's see. Screen share.
Nice.
Okay. So this is my pale man. So Luke said to stay away from the trope or whatever, the eyes and the hands, but I don't know. I researched this character, and it seemed like they were doing this thing with the eyes and the hands because like I guess there's like an Asian story about some guy that does eats children too, and that seemed like it was very intrinsic to what this character was that he didn't have eyes up here, and kind of what I was going with.
Do you remember the specific story that it was derived from, or the
Tenement?
It was a Japanese story of this man who had his he had eyes on his hands, and he kind of had his eyes squinted or closed, so he didn't see any of his victims, but he saw them with his hands, but would eat children. And so that seemed like a part of its. I know it's so iconic of that character in the movie, but it seems like it's intrinsic to the design in itself, from what I was gathering. But it's okay. I don't know. Like I still have like the foldy skin right here. Like I wanted to go with maybe more like he's kind of like got like sacks of skin, or like he looks like he's kind of like going to what is that? Like kind of like his skin is like really thin, and it's just like blobby.
Yeah.
And it's got all these like veins and stuff going through it. You can see the veins, and I think I find that really fleshy and gross. And like he's got like skin sack hanging down like this, in his genital area, and
Me too.
Just think of like gross. Yeah,
Very cool.
I get it.
Okay,
And
I'm sorry.
instead of having his eyes completely just not there, like they never were there ever, like in the original design, I thought maybe he had eyes at one point and he just stopped using them or something. And since he's kind of an immortal, it seems like he's an immortal being that's stuck in this place where he's at. So maybe he just over time evolved to not use his eyes, and so he just has them permanently squinted to the point where he doesn't even open them.
Like they've atrophied.
He just uses his ears. Yeah, like atrophied. And clearly doesn't care about his appearance at all. So his appearance just kind of goes. And, kind of like, you ever see that video of like what they light deprivation in Russia, or was it Germany? I can't remember what it was, but they had these concentration camp victims or something that were deprived of light for a long time, like I don't know, a month, and then they had like a month and then several months, and these people just started to turn into monsters.
That was a fake story. I read into
Was it?
Yeah, I was like, wow, this is amazing.
Okay.
What is this? This is very interesting.
Yeah.
But it was a fake story. But nonetheless, it's a interesting story. So if you guys check it out.
Is that the story where
that's
they
a good fake
all
story.
eat each other?
Yeah, they start eating each other and like.
Oh yeah, that was a creepypasta.
Yeah, it was really good though.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
It was great.
That reminds
really
me.
disturbing.
Yeah, really disturbing. Kind of reminds me of the one horror movie I do like. One of the horror movies I do like, which is Event Horizon. You guys like that movie?
Yeah.
Event Horizon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
Where
really
they
like that
find
one.
a portal to hell. They find a portal to hell. Yeah, like they get a portal to hell, and like all the people somehow like lose their minds and start eating each other, and like, ugh, oh my god, that imagery. Like I saw that like just a split second of that imagery, and I was like, oh, my mind. Yeah. I don't know. So that's what I have to say about my character.
That's good work, man. I dig the firelight, like how you lit it and stuff. The glowing eyes, cool.
Yeah.
You made him more like beefy, like he's.
I love the head.
Yeah. The fact that you gave.
I love the head and the upper body.
Yeah, to be clear, I only posed that I wanted to stay away from the eyes and the hand. It is a cool thing. So
yeah,
I like the way it looks too. It's a much more intimidating kind of a Hulk.
Yeah, definitely a physique that I wasn't picturing him as, but now that I see it, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Inner City Pigeon says he's got a built-in loincloth. So yeah.
He's got yeah. What's underneath the loincloth?
Yeah, if you let your body go enough, you'll eventually have a built-in loincloth. That's what happens.
Yeah,
it's good advice.
I've seen it. So like, if you're just sick of wearing clothes, there's an answer for everything.
I thought this right here looked like stretch marks that are just like the arm, and it's just a bunch of like
like thin skin
like
twisting up, and like old people's skin. Yeah.
Varicose veins, like what is that, elephantitis on people's. You ever see people with the big like their bottom like leg is, or their calf is like that big, and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's kind of lumpy and whatever.
Well,
That's
good job.
cool, man.
Good job.
Okay.
Randy.
Well, that's
light showing through. I like it.
Randy Toroni, everybody. Randy Toroni.
Toroni.
Yeah. He hates Toroni.
Thank you.
He hates.
Don't call. You know what? Somebody did that to me when I was in at a triathlon when I was at like 10 years old. I was going around the turn. They were saying everybody's names, and I just remember them saying on a big speaker, "Here comes Randy Toroni," and I was just like, got my name wrong.
And they took your moment away.
Yeah, they made me feel like.
Ever since then, you fucking hate it. And then
I felt
you
like
punch holes in the walls after people say it.
No, I felt embarrassed that they did that to me, but whatever.
We got Randy's backstory.
Now we
Yeah,
know.
that's why I am. That's why I am the way I am.
Yeah.
Well, all right, man. Great job.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Fucking turned out real bitchin', man. Well, again, good lighting, good concept, built-in loincloth. Can't go wrong. I like it.
Thank you.
Who would like to expose themselves next? Okay.
We've got three left.
Dopepope. He's got a big smile. He's fucking ready.
I'm good. I'm good. I hate to do this on camera, but I don't know how to get the screen to share. You click this button.
Bottom
left.
I'll make it big. Like I'll make it big, but go to the bottom left of the screen and you'll see a little tiny screen that says
the button.
and click it.
Just
and then
click that.
it'll prompt you to choose which screen you want to expose.
I see it. Did it do anything?
I see your beautiful face. Oh, there you go.
Oh.
Oh, look at you. I see you. Oh, look at that.
Okay, so now, here's where I define both, because I did exactly what Luke didn't want to do. I thought about this character long and hard, and I found that every time I would stray from what it looked like, I felt I was just going too far. I considered putting garments on it, and I just looked too much like a Cenobite from Hellraiser. And then I tried to get a little with it, and it just got too zombie-like. It didn't fit the character. So then I just rethought the whole thing and said, instead of going crazy and different, try to stay the same, make some subtle tweaks. So this is what I came up with, and I kept the eye gimmick completely because that's its iconic motion, and I just liked it so much. I didn't want to. I wanted to keep it, but I put it up. I put the hands up on his head instead of making his eyes have to go there. They're always there, but the hands are there as well.
That's a cool
I'm not sure why. I just went crazy and stuff.
That's creepy.
I don't know if you could.
Now, can he retract his hands into his head, or are they always kind of chilling?
Right well, I wasn't sure about that, but my friend suggested that they'd be able to slip back inside and put the eyes in place. And even though I don't have that illustrated, that's what I think is a great idea.
Or maybe
I would say yes to that.
Or maybe he protects the eyes and makes little fists where the eye sockets are.
Yeah,
That'd be sick. Yeah, I like that idea a lot.
There's a second.
Yeah,
you got great ideas.
That's some grossness.
Now,
the next level, man. That's great.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. When I saw this movie, I thought those weird shapes on his face were dangling earlobes, and then I realized it wasn't. But I kind of liked the idea that those were his earlobes, so I gave him long, stretched out earlobes. And basically, from the waist down, it's the same character. Maybe I gave him a bigger belly and thicker legs to give him more like fat on him, and I put little spikes on his fingers and toes just because I think that's really creepy. But there's no real reason for any of this stuff. It's just for the sake of trying to be different and things that I wanted to try out, because I do feel this character is damn near perfect. Any kind of change is going to be for the sake of change. And I don't know. I also had very limited time because I had other things to work on that I couldn't push to the side. So this is what I came up with. And I'm sure if I had more time, I would have came up with crazier ideas and stuff. But I'm now watching you guys reveal stuff. It's just like, wow, there's so many things I could have done.
That's really solid.
But because I do it in training, I have so many angles I can show. So that's why I have all this art to show.
So when Inner City Pigeon asks, is his arm skin gauged? Like he's asking if those are like piercings, like with like gauge.
Yeah. There's like rubies and gemstones like pierced into them. Like, I figured this guy would feel like he deserves some jewelry.
A little vanity with his person. Like,
yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I can imagine him being a little stingy with some of that stuff.
He kind of looks like
he's. I like that top one. Oh, I like that. That's fucking cool.
Oh yeah.
That's fucking rad.
Yeah, he looks like he's trying to be all like, I don't know, Christian or Buddha or something. Like he's being holy. Yeah. But he's a monster. That guy says something right there, doesn't it?
No, the way he's holding it, that's a good idea, dude. That's cool.
Yeah. If you ever, that almost like makes a horn, like a look like it's like a horn or something, you know?
Yeah.
And But then you look up close, like far away, it looks like he's got a horn or something. And then you get up close, it's like, oh my God, what in the world?
It is a disturbing looking thing for sure.
Like a reveal, like if you see his silhouette and like the movie pans in and he looks like some kind of creature with a horn, and he comes into the light and you see the eyeballs encapsulated in his hands in a prayer position. That's a sweet ass reveal. That was my favorite. Yeah, for sure.
You could even just have the hands cupped like this completely, and then when he wakes up, the hands go like this and go, and then the eyes pop out, and he's like, like that would just be nuts.
Yeah, lots of possibilities. That's cool, dude.
This guy looks like he was kind of like maybe like some kind of really rich old person, or like somebody who maybe got someone who got their wish for immortality, and then they became this monster, and they live forever like this, and they have a feast, they have this curse where they feel like they have to eat the flesh of their own kind. It's like, is it worth it to be immortal if this is the price you have to pay?
Yeah, that's a
kind of thing.
Like
that's a cool backstory. Yeah,
he wished for immortality. He didn't wish not to age, so he keeps aging but just won't die.
Yeah, and this is the price he pays for his immortality, right?
Yeah, that's solid.
That's crazy.
Okay.
Look at his hands. Look, what is?
Yeah, the hands are just basically hands, except I put little spikes on his fingers so to make it just look that much, kind of like giant bug insect.
Yeah.
Insect like.
That's creepy, man. It looks like he's like
scary.
Almost like a fungusy or diseased.
No.
Like if he touched you, you'd get some kind of really, like he would infect you because it like maybe it would poke you or something, and you get some of his infected blood in your blood, and then all of a sudden maybe you start to, maybe your eyes pop out or something.
What if it acts like a spider bite, almost like it starts kind of digesting you from the inside so he can eat you?
Or maybe it makes you immobile.
That too. Well,
why
not both? Why not both, Randy?
Yeah, why not both?
Indeed.
But it'd be scary if it just immobilized you, and then all of a sudden you're this guy's plaything.
Yeah.
Like creepy things plaything.
You're a plaything.
Ooh.
That'd be gross.
All right, Dopepope, you know how to get back, right? If you want to, because you screened out.
Am I not back?
No, you're looking at our screens now.
Yeah.
So this is double me, double Luke. So just go back to that little. Oh, there you are. You're back. Yeah, nice concept, man. Dopepope.
Really cool.
Yeah, that was dope.
That was dope. All right.
Thank you.
Mr.
I like your Godzilla collection in the back, by the way.
Yeah, I comment on that pre-show. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, nice stuff. DC Morrow, you ready to rock, or you want to go last?
I am. I have returned. All right. Yeah, I'll do it.
You ready to do it? Expose yourself.
I'm still jacking around in Photoshop.
Okay.
Well, let me just say this last thing. It's unnecessary. I'm just playing.
Okay.
At this point, so let me just save my last image. So mine's all paint, as always. So my primary issue is, of course, getting them into the computer in some sort of format that's not really washed out and gets a lot of detail. I used a 1K camera this time, the new, my brother gave me to use for this, and it's still grainy when you zoom in. So I clearly have things to learn about whatever the hell's going on here. But all right, I'm gonna go full screen. Is it on me?
No, you just show your thing, and I'll control the full screen and make it.
All right. Well, this is the avatar I wanted.
Expose yourself.
That was my avatar.
You're not sharing.
Am I on? Are we happening?
You're not sharing. I see DM.
Well, fine then. I see how it is.
Share it.
I see what's going on. Give me just a second. Okay.
The problem is I don't see how it is.
Okay.
And neither do our hundreds of viewers.
Right.
Yeah, neither do our hundreds of viewers.
So.
There we go.
This was my avatar.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got all mad at me.
Yeah.
So I pulled it down.
But is that the billman?
Unrelated.
Unrelated. Okay.
This was supposed to be my little icon in the corner.
Okay, I
And you
dig
got all
it.
fussy.
No, you're good.
So sketch page, I really wanted to go big and blobby. At first, I was thinking about this sumo wrestler who's ginormous. His name is Ichi Nojo, and all the folding and the grossness. So I wanted to keep the eye in the hands because it comes from that, the Japanese monster, the Tenemi, and that's like his only defining feature. Not that it's, not that it probably was thematically related. I think he went like, that's cool. I want to do that.
Yeah.
So that's why it had that. It was this juxtaposition between starving and gluttony. And my thought was because, in fairy tales, you're not supposed to eat the food. Was that, perhaps this is someone who was a glutton who ate the food and now has to starve the table and wait for, hey, maybe the next person he was trying to catch was going to replace him at the table or something. I don't know.
That's a good
But
idea.
the guy above the quarter is that's the one I went with. But then I started thinking I wanted the face to be kind of a bat nose, so I was playing with it. Ultimately, I think I should have gone back to that, like the two slits. But I kind of already did the bat nose, and I was not about to reverse course at this point. So I put it down on board. I sealed it. Well, I projected my sketch and pen. I lightened it up because you want your ground to actually be lighter where it's going to be light. And you can see on the right hand on the left side, I got this weird mica paint, and I just wanted to see if it would actually increase how reflective it was when you put something over it. And I think the answer is it does not. It just makes it slicker so it doesn't have tooth to hold paint. And is it going to play? Okay, I have to do it manually. Oh, don't do this to me. Okay. There we go.
Oh.
Actually, be lighter where it's going to be light. Yeah, it works better for other things, I think. It was not spectacular. I didn't think it really increased how light it was for this. I think the mica, if you put it in your top layer, would have been better. I did not get to color correct the video because I am still learning to edit video.
It looks like you're getting whatever that technique is. Looks like you're getting a pretty cool value range out of it.
Yeah, it's still washed out, but I got to get. I'll figure it out. So the stills are better, but thought they were going to be even higher res. So when I zoom in to I wanted to show detail, it's grainy. So
Hey, is that like a tongue hanging down under the ribs?
Yeah, there's when my hand's out of the way, you can see that I wanted to look hungrier because I didn't do I didn't do the blobby to skinny. I'm just like, he needs to look hungrier. He's all about the snacks, I think.
Looks kind of phallic too, which people like that.
Yeah, I realized after the fact I probably should have put at least a little bit of lighter value on the hips because they just disappear. You can still see them, but here's my dude. And the problem is I know my screen's messed up, so I don't know what the values are on everyone else's. Is he
cool.
visible? Is he too dark?
Yeah, the hips are too. They get.
Well, no, they disappear, but I mean, is the rest of him kind of?
No, you're.
Is the value
good.
range okay on everyone else's monitor?
It's hard to tell because I'd have to see the traditional thing and be able to.
Well, I
compare.
tried to zoom in. It's
It looks contrasting.
See how we're getting grainier here. I liked how fleshy everything turned out in the rib cage. I tried to get in there. This is, but clearly, I couldn't put it on the scanner because it's oil, so that is still wet. So, you can see how the different, trying to capture it a different way really changes what your value range is.
Right.
So I kept jacking around in Photoshop. So, so we went with the bat nose. Kind of thought that the plainer one would have been better at the end, but that was going to be a complete paint over.
Tell me about the back nose, the bat nose.
I don't know.
What are the reasonings behind it? So you can sense.
I was let's go way back here. At one point, I was thinking about taking the eyes off the hands, was thinking about ways to get mouths on the hands, big chubby hands with mouths. Clearly, I left that idea behind, and was thinking about running those weird ribbed bat ears you can see on the right side. I was just doing tiny thumbnails of bat ears. I was thinking about running those up the side of his face so you can see little squiggles. I know I draw really tiny.
That would have been a good idea.
Trying to fit kind of bat ear details on the sides of the face rather than having them protrude. And in the end, I liked the bat thing, but I did not. The ears, the different ways that I squiggled on like ear ribbing did not really translate the way I wanted them to. So I just took them off and kept the bat nose. And ultimately, I think the dual slit kind of one above the quarter would have been better. But, was way too late to do that this morning when I looked at it and went like, oh yeah, I probably should have done that. But, if I resume painting at like 10 a.m., then I'm kind of lost already,
Gotcha.
So, could you tell us about your design choices?
I don't know, the thin with all the hanging flesh, that would have been, clearly a really gluttonous giant dude starved down to that. It's like, I don't know why, but it didn't really viewing it to me didn't really translate to hungry for some reason. I know that seems to be the whole point of the thing to me, but he didn't feel that hungry to me. And I was just like, I kind of wanted all the facial features to appear, but I just didn't want them on his head. And he had to be hungry, and I like the ribs as teeth. So I did you saw the little tiny sketch page. I kind of locked onto the way this looked really fast, and I just liked it.
Yeah, I dig
Yeah.
the I dig the
Ultimately-
concept, like he's bringing you into like some kind of pit, which is himself, and then
Yeah.
like the face isn't necessarily totally remnant of a bat nose, but
Yeah, I kind of
but that's a good thing
had a
too.
lot
No, it's
of weird squiggle on
If
the
you
face.
think about how this thing in reality could be formed to be this way, to evolve this way over time, boy, that would be painful. Painful process. Could you imagine like the rib cage being turned into teeth? Like if your rib cage got turned into teeth like that, and somehow you like fed your stomach like this down here instead of up here, and oh man,
well, your body
that could be really.
your body starts eating itself as it starts like devolving into this demonic presence. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
could be
It
cool.
definitely has a painful quality to all of it. Like those eyes on its hands kind of look painful to me, and the
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
rib cage and inside of it looks
I was
painful.
thinking might
It's very
well, have you ever gotten a rib injury?
no, thank God.
It's actually incredible. You know within a couple of seconds if it's broken. I have not had that, but you even know within a couple of seconds if you're going to have a problem. I got like a bruised rib a couple of months ago. I'm still feeling it sometimes when I move. I can't even imagine your ribs spreading like that. It would be pretty horrific.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that the pose to go for, once I'd kind of figured him out, like what I'm thinking right now would have been like arms thrown back, roaring, stomach forward, with the teeth kind of spread out.
And
I think that would be the next thing to go for.
Yeah, the arms kind of like back into the sides with the
What?
like yeah, still showing the eyes.
Things to sketch for next time, I suppose.
Yeah. You could always expand on the character later in your with your own stuff, so that's always
Oh,
fun.
I'm too lazy for that. I don't even know if I'm gonna finish this thing.
Okay,
So
fair enough. All right. Well, nice piece, man.
well, thank you.
That's cool.
All right, I will. I'm the last one, right? We're not missing anyone. We got everybody. All right.
Yep.
Let's see here. Okay. Let's see. All right. So this is my. Here. Can you? This was my initial sketch. I was gonna start it kind of like I'd start everything with like a bunch of little crazy scratchy blobs until I find something that I like, and then I further develop that. And like when I reached this portion of my sketch, I was like, I think I should probably try to do something different. So just to kind of expand as an artist, So I decided to sculpt something up in here. Whoops. Here, hold on. No, you're not supposed to see that. Okay. I decided to sculpt something up in with Oculus Medium, which I've used very little. So I made my pale man proportions as such. I gave him kind of these crazy, like kind of almost unusable, like rib type fingers. He's got like little kids because he eats kids, right? He's got little kids. He's got little kids' shoes like tied to his legs and whatnot as trophies. And then here's the front of him. Here as you can see the little. He's got kind of eyeballs kind of growing out of his hands and forearms. He's not very mobile, but he can like grab onto things with his feet. They're kind of spidery as well. He has no eyes, but he has a maw that like can like just chew, maw for eating children. And then here I ended up posing him a little bit, and this is prior to my paint, and that is the paint, and that's the final of my pale man.
Wow.
So
he did go very spidery, didn't he?
he did go.
Yeah.
He went spidery.
We get a close up on the crazy feet because.
You wanted to see the feet?
Yeah, it looked pretty crazy at a distance.
So here are the feet. They kind of come up like this, out like that, this.
Okay,
Same
I
thing,
like
and
that.
they kind of curl in. Not the most mobile, but so. Any criticism?
I don't see anything on my main screen. I'm actually watching it on YouTube update, and it's a smaller screen, and I can't really see anything. I don't know why it's not updating on my main screen.
Oh, weird.
All I see is one that hasn't moved in 5 minutes so far.
You have to click on J.R. Coffron's profile.
You got to click on my profile in the thing.
That's why. Okay, thank you for that. I see it. I absolutely see it. So all it is 3D, or there's a lot of Photoshop? I see layers.
Well, that was I didn't know how to, like, I'm new to 3D, so I tried to light this in a program called Keyshot, and
that's what I use.
and I didn't know what I was doing, so I just started dropping textures on, trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah.
Like I was like, fuck it, that's fine, I'll just paint it. So I ended up painting the majority. All the lighting is pretty much by eye, because this is kind of just ambient low light, and I kind of hottened it up a little bit. And
it's cool. I like the eyes on the back of the hands.
I do too. That's great.
I love
like bug eyes. Yeah.
So what are the holes in his head again? Are they?
He puts it. They're like synapses, so he can actually see out the eyes. Unless he has his fingers in those holes, he can't see.
Like a plug in. He plugs it in
he plugs in. Yeah.
Yeah, he plugs. Okay.
He's a plugger.
He's plugging.
That's a cool, neat thing I'd like to see. That would make it really cool.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah, definitely. Dangling shoes is a good idea too.
That's a cool idea for a monster, because he has to see the thing he's chasing. He has to do this, but then when he has to unplug and become blind and kind of flail around like a monster would when he wants to actually get you.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you can imagine what that would, like.
It's almost like a video game boss.
Yeah, like a video game character or a boss.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
I like how.
Oh, sorry. Go, Luke. I
I,
know you got
I was
to go
gonna
soon.
say I just like how bony it looks. I can hear this thing moving and rattling and shit like that.
Oh,
It's got a really cool chittering kind of haunting sound to think about how it moves. I love it.
that's
It's
awesome.
like a shark teeth, doesn't it?
Yeah, I took some inspiration from like shark teeth, like
Oh
Yeah.
wow!
so.
Yeah, he's like a spider shark man.
Spider shark man. That's
Spider. Have you
he's
seen
like
spiders?
he's man bear pig's nemesis.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the latest Spider-Man shark movie? Spider-Man 6. It's the new Spider-Man. Spider.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Far from
Spider.
home.
No. I'm saying this is like an alternate version, like Spider Shark. It's not Spider-Man. It's Spider Shark Man.
Oh boy!
Okay.
Oh,
I like that.
you lost me, Randy. You're crazy.
All right.
Oh yeah,
Unfortunately, I understand.
one. Oh yeah, and I because he's so gluttonous and whatnot, he has this thin, frail body. I uh I I took out the little stomach region. He's got this void. So like I wanted to paint these two, but I lost a day. I was supposed to be able to do that. I had to end up watching my kiddo. Uh, uh, but like as he's eating, it would just like kind of pour out of this hole. Like it's all just a waste anyway. But
Yeah,
he feels compelled to eat. So
that sure is cool. Well, hey, I gotta get out of this pretty soon, but you all guys want to see like my first draft
yeah,
real quick?
yeah. Let's see it, Luke.
All right. Just I thought it'd be funny to show you the dumb thing I was gonna do before we even got all this started. All right. So again, like I didn't want to do eyes on the hands. That's my main onus, but I decided to go with like a nose on there. I thought that'd be kind of cool, but it's really not that scary. And I was
Yeah,
like,
nose on the palm of the hand is not scary.
yeah, I thought it'd be cool to have jewels in it and like this hands and the eyes. But I think this is the first head I did, and that's a spooky head.
Yeah.
no.
That's not a nice.
That
That's
is
a spooky head.
that's a tortured man right there being born
Yeah,
like that.
you can see it. It's like sickening. You know he's hungry for I don't know
Yeah.
what. He probably like vapes children or something like that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he just vapes their bones. Yeah, I can see
Yeah.
that.
Vapes their bones.
But yeah, I worked pretty hard on this one and got some cool ribs. You know, I thought that was a pretty original idea. I like that a lot. Anyway, there's my thing, guys.
That's great. That was great.
Yeah,
Dude.
save that and send that to me, dude.
All right, you got it.
That represents this session.
Well, yeah,
You got it.
that's Luke's surprise. He does that. He does that on all the episodes. So
Oh, really?
Welcome to the show.
yep.
Nice.
If Luke's part of the jam, there's a little surprise towards the end of the show. So that was great.
Well, thanks for the
And
surprise.
with that, fellas, and everyone out there, I got to go. These are great. This was a fun one.
Yeah,
Hey,
this
it was good to see you again, Luke. It was
Yes.
good to
Yeah,
see
you
you.
too.
See ya,
It's been a
Luke.
long time.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
But all right, guys. So Luke's out, but who would like the next one we are going to do is going to be on the 7th of next month. So if you feel privy to want to contribute again to the show and be a part of it, raise your hand.
I want to definitely want to see what's going on that week because I do New York Comicon and I think it's that week. When I cut into my work time, so
Okay.
I won't be able to do it. But I gotta check my calendar.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a possibility.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I might be able to get it done before that. Well, it depends on what we're working on too.
okay.
Yeah.
We don't know
It
about
depends. The answer is it depends.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, that being said, do you guys have any suggestions for the next show? You guys too in the chat, if you have any suggestions that something you would like to see, then if we don't come to a conclusion, I'll make a post in the next day or two with the next subject matter once we get some people on board. Uh, I'll start to vote. I've been wanting to do Scorpion from Mortal Kombat.
Oh,
Oh,
that's a tough one because he's so iconic.
They're all iconic. That's why it's hard.
Hey, they're all iconic. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's a ninja with flaming eyes.
Well, he's what you want him to be.
Yeah, I know. You can do whatever you want. I know. I'm just saying he's iconic, so it'd be really interesting to see where people are able to, how people can push it and change it, and still keep the ninja Scorpion vibe and make it look like people say, "Oh, wow, that's Scorpion," just redesigned.
Yeah.
While I think this Pale Man, he had some iconic stuff features to him that, I mean, it feels like even if you do them in different styles, people say, "Oh, that's Pale Man."
So, someone said, need a pink ninja? What do you mean? Sanguine platypus? Pink ninja.
Pink Ninja.
I don't know. But yeah, so you guys have any other suggestions? And we'll chew on that. If we can't come to a conclusion, then that's okay too.
That works for me.
So you want to wait?
Oh.
Or do you like you?
Yeah, don't you want to get the Facebook feedback first?
Yeah,
and see what they...
let's get some Facebook feedback so it's not just all about us, and I'll post it in our little secret group that we got going, and I'll keep you posted too, Dopepope. Or Joe,
Cool.
Joe,
Joe,
Dopepope, the dopest pope. But that being said, I think that concludes our little show. Anything else you guys want to? I think yeah, that can. You guys have anything else you guys want to say before we? Oh yeah.
I did say already. I will be at New York Comicon. If anybody's from New York and wants to come by and say hi, I'll be there in the Artist Alley. It's the October 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And then 7th would be the day you want to do the show. So that's why I don't know if I can get it done because I'm working those 4 days straight. But anybody get to the show, come by and say hi.
All right,
Artist Alley.
Yeah, those cons are a lot of work, so I understand if you can't make the next one. They're a lot of work. What's that?
They're very draining.
Oh yeah.
They're like a whirlwind of activity and craziness. And I love them. I love doing them. But as soon as they're over, it's like I need to sleep for 2 days straight.
Yeah, same. It's gnarly. Randy, you got anything to add?
No, I really have to get going, but
Okay.
It was really great to be here and do this. It was fun. I didn't know what to expect, but it was great.
Yeah, it's
fun.
a lot of fun. So if you guys have any suggestions or whatever, and you're watching, just leave them in the comments below, and I'll check those out later. I'll also create some posts on social media so we can see what get an idea of what you guys want to see on the future show. So thanks again, everybody, for stopping by, and that'll wrap things up. If you want to check out these other artists, those will also there'll also be a link below in the video description. So thanks again for coming by, and that's a wrap. Have a good one, guys.
All right.